Coming up in this episode, I'm going to take you on a tour of a brand new charging hub by the new charge point operator, Ayana. Some of you may have seen us talk about them and even visit a few of their stations over the last few months. However, I am going to take you on a tour of their current flagship charging location, consisting of 400 kilowatt dispensers, an unmanned convenience store using Amazon tech, driver's lounge, pull-through bays, and so much more. Join me and Ricardo Stamatti for a full tour of this site and learn a lot more about what Ayana has been up to and what their ambitious plans are for the future. Thank you to our sponsors for today's video, Ayana, InfyPower, and Eaton. Ayana, North America's premier charging network. With unmatched commitment to elevating the customer experience, Ayana is opening America's roads to all EVs, giving drivers the coverage they need, the reliability they deserve, and the amenities they crave. Also, InfyPower, the largest EV charger module provider with over 3 million power modules running reliably worldwide. Their latest G2 collection features ultra-high power density and efficiency for EV charging and energy storage integration. InfyPower, innovation for your power. And Eaton. Eaton is a one-stop shop for implementing reliable and innovative EV charging infrastructure at your site. Across all applications, Eaton's EV charging infrastructure, hardware, and software gives you the scalability, flexibility, and intelligence you need to charge today and scale up tomorrow. Learn more at eaton.com/EVCI. Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video, and welcome to currently the coolest Ayana charging station installed in America. This is the new Ayana Rechargery in Garner, North Carolina, right off of I-40. It's a really cool location because you've got all of that Raleigh and East traffic, anyone going between Raleigh and Wilmington going through here, but then also a lot of urban new development in the area that requires high power charging, really. So you have a mix of an urban situation and a highway situation that desperately needed charging in this area. And holy smokes, this is so cool. Ayana actually bought essentially a gas station and turned it into an electric car charging station with high power charging and some incredible tech inside, featuring Amazon sort of wireless pay. It's kind of cool. You go into the store and just grab whatever you want and it auto bills. We're going to try that out. There's a whole lounge here as well. And it is certainly one of the premier charging locations in our entire country. And in this video, I'm going to take you on a full tour. But I'm also joined by Ricardo, who is the man at Ayana. And I'll introduce you to him in a little bit. He's going to talk a little bit about transformers, wiring, charging stations. He's really the brains behind a lot of the installations. So we're going to get a little bit nerdy on topics. And if you've watched our previous video on this channel, a couple videos ago, I actually went and visited a bunch of different Ayana charging stations on my road trip here to North Carolina from Colorado. And we'll be talking about those and the upgrades that are coming and just the overall Ayana thing. Awesome to be here in Garner. It's time for a full tour of the Ayana Rechargery here in Garner, North Carolina. Well, guys, you join us literally just off an exit here by I-40 with this, a beautiful Rechargery. There's a market inside, there's a lounge inside, and there's high power Alpitronic 400 kilowatt DC chargers. Ricardo Sierra is down there ripping almost 400 kilowatts we got on that thing, which is hilarious. So I'll show you what's going on there with pull-through charging sites. Come join me over this way. And I've brought my Model S here, which needs a charge as well. So as I like to do with a lot of these tours is I want to show you the customer experience. Well, the first thing I did was I pulled in. We're going to talk about the site layout, why this is not double pull-through. It was originally intended to be, but we'll talk about some of the limitations when you're trying to build a network so fast. Plenty of room for expansion at this site as well. But I'm going to take the Alpitronic native NACS adapter. Come on in, let me show you this. So you can see we have Amphenol cables here, 600 amps, so it'll give the Model S all the 250 kilowatts that it wants. I can point it, hit the button on top, which opens the charging port. I can then plug in, take my Apple Pay. You can see by plugging in, it auto queues up here on this payment terminal that, it knows that I plugged into site A. I'm gonna take my Apple Pay, boom, tap to pay, and we should be starting to charge here in just a few seconds. So I love that you can just roll up, plug in, tap, and go. There's also options for plug and charge, and IONNA's working with an increasing number of automakers so that you can basically do a one-time setup, and then you just literally roll up, plug in, go in the market, and check it out. It's a really cool market inside. While this is going, and it's actually starting right here, 39 cents per kilowatt hour, I should also mention there's trash cans. I can hear the output bus bars going on the Alpitronic units there. Trash cans, windshield washer fluid, an incredible layout, everything EV drivers want, and more to come. They're gonna have a tire fill station and some other things coming to this particular site, and we'll talk about that. You can see you have some super wide ADA spaces right up here, which is great for access for everything. Ricardo's brand new, he just got this Sierra Denali. This is one of the first editions, 24 module, big pack. We saw like just over 370 kilowatts on this thing, which is awesome. The location here is great. I came here and visited this site when it was under construction. I was like, wow, this is really a gas station vibe with amenities, with a lounge, a great place to hang out, but for electric car charging. And right now there's just a few charge dispensers here. I think there's 5 in total, so 10 spaces, but plenty of room to expand. You can see you have all this area back here. We'll talk to Ricardo about the possibilities of increasing the grid connection, potential battery storage on site, what other ways we can do, because when I visited a few of the locations on my trip out, we were in Abilene, Kansas, we were in Waukene, Kansas, all these other ones. They had 750 kVA transformers at a few of those sites, feeding 10 stalls, 5 400 kilowatt chargers that can split to 2. A little bit of site limitation there, no question, and they're working on upgrading that capacity. But right now they're like, IONNA's still so new, the utilization is still honestly pretty low at the moment. Hopefully with these videos and other people learning about them, more people will use IONNA stations very quickly, and I imagine these will be the stations everyone wants to use. Come join me this way. We're just gonna see, you know, a need for higher conversion power on site, and they're already working on that. But sometimes when they're going so fast, building out this huge network in record time, they just gotta get stations in the ground. We might need some viewer comments on this area here. We'll talk to Ricardo about it as well. We need to figure out what they want to do with this. Are they gonna add another pull-through specifically for trailer charging? Is this gonna become a little vehicle service station? Yeah, just lots of different options and things that could go on here. And I absolutely love the design. Inside is even more beautiful and absolutely crazy. So we'll go inside, have Ricardo give us a tour of the lounge and the Amazon store, which I think is just absolutely amazing to have. Let's take a look at the charging. I can hear the fans ripping. By the way, the IONNA stations are already in the Tesla nav, and the Tesla preconditioned to this station automatically. So I put in where I was going, it auto preconditioned, and we were good to go. We all know Teslas don't charge that well, but it's not terrible. The Model S is the least worst, I should say. We're doing 180 kilowatts at 38%. You can see our charging curve. The car wanted right up to about 241 kilowatts there, and we're still ripping over 400 amps. With all that said, I'm gonna let this charge up. Let's get Ricardo on camera and just talk about the site, talk about IONNA in general. And I think you guys are really gonna be blown away by the thought that went into this site and the fact that they can put so much thought into these sites when they're building so many sites all at the same time across the country. I mean, hundreds of sites are coming for IONNA. They are going so fast. They call it IONNA speed. My speed, that like almost no one can match IONNA speed. It's pretty crazy. So let's go get Ricardo on camera and just chat and go on a tour. Guys, I'd like to welcome to the channel Ricardo, who's really the brains, can we say, behind a lot of the stuff you see here?
I'm a couple of neurons, okay, right? The whole brain is the whole team, yeah.
True. So what I'd love to do with you today, and we're gonna kind of hammer through it somewhat quickly for an out-of-spec video, is a tour of the site first, and then we can talk more about the network afterwards.
Yeah.
So this location, can you tell us how it came to be? It was a gas station before.
Yeah, it used to be a gas station, and you know, we're doing this. We're reviving gas stations. Apex was the first one we did in this market.
Yep.
Garner was the second one.
That's right. Apex was like an old school, like 50s era or 40s.
100-year-old actually to the day. Wow. It was built in 1925, and now this is 2025, right?
Okay,
And we opened it a couple of months ago. So yes.
Amazing. That's sick.
This one's not that old.
So the Apex site was like a perfect first site. It had like a homey feel to it. And this is perfect town of Apex, just awesome. This is more like a real hardcore user site.
You got it. You got it. We call this a hybrid because it is both an MSA, so metro. There's a lot of people live around here that have EVs. One of the reasons not only we're here, we picked this market as our headquarters, but it's also right off the highway, right?
Yep.
So if you're traveling south, be it to South Carolina or even further south all the way to Florida, you're gonna go through here.
Yep.
And if you're coming up, you're gonna go through here. So we get the traffic of like the daily drivers and also the travelers. And hence why it just lit up on our suitability map as this is a great location. Then we had already tried that model of there's some gas stations out there that already have the building that if we can come in and we can sort of IONNA pimp them,
I like it.
might make a great experience. So we figured let's try it to see what customers say. And that's what created Apex and then this second shot. And that's how it came to be.
This building was already here. You just gutted it.
You got it. We gutted it and we reimagined it. From the outside, it doesn't look that way much, but when we get inside, you'll see.
Yeah, it's beautiful inside. Can't wait to show the viewers.
Thank you.
So we've got your truck charging here. This thing's badass.
Yeah, thank you. I agree.
Big ass batteries. That's what we want. I mean, you need it for charge testing.
Huge battery. That's exactly, this thing double duties, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we do quite a bit of testing. When this thing is low on SOC, you can get many sessions out of it in the lab, which you'll see later.
Yeah. Can't wait. Upcoming video, hopefully. So, okay, you've used the pull-through area here just to talk design. So I showed the viewers there's 10 ports, which actually on all the sites I came out here on, which was the Kansas and Missouri stretch, those were all 10 ports, 5 chargers. Is that the standard?
That is close to the standard. I think we're going to average just north of that. So maybe we're going to average about 12.
Yeah.
If you go into our website, you can see we have different product classes. We have what we call relays, what we call rechargeries, rechargery apps, which I think you've been to as well, like for example, with sheets.
Yep.
And then beacons, more to come on that soon.
Yep.
That will range from about 10 bays will be what you see consistently as the lowest we will go,
which is good,
all the way into like 24, 30 plus based on that product range. So
150.
Yes, maybe in the future we'll get there one rechargery at a time. But yeah, we'll average north of what you've seen, which means you've yet to see some bigger sites that are in the pipeline already.
So what we've shown the viewers is kind of like base level.
Yes,
which is pretty amazing still, going across the country. I mean, not everything will have a canopy, but all the ones I stopped at had canopy with bright lights, super high power charging stations. Is everything you do going to be 400 kilowatts?
That is the minimum we will do.
Oh, good to hear. Wonderful. What's the maximum?
Wink, wink. More than 400. And yeah, I mean, you've been to China, you know what's coming.
Absolutely.
You know that we work with some partners that already have stuff up there that it's more than 2x capable.
Yeah.
So coming soon.
Okay, love to hear it. That's amazing. So you've, since we're just chatting as well, we'll get into the hardware and stuff, but let's just go on the site tour. So this is weird because you've got a pull-through here, which is kind of perfect for towing. You can come around the backside and pull out this way. It's still a little narrow, but then why no pull-through on this side? What happened?
What happened is that in the world of rehabbing gas stations, anything can happen, right? Every gas station is a box of chocolate. The ones that are 100 years old, the ones that are not that old. So gas stations normally have gas tanks underneath them. And there's things that you're going to be limited on that you don't know until you go through it, right? So listen, we're brave. We take risks. In this case, we're trying to do two things, and not only take a risk, but do it super fast. If you look at sort of like the average bell curve of what it takes to build what we call rechargery, a charging station, it takes a long time. We're beating that average quite a bit, and beating that average means things like, hey, yeah, sure, this was meant to have chargers right here. We could take another 12 months to fix it, or listen, this is actually pretty good, because the experience you see here is you actually have 4 pull-through stalls. So on each side, this side is CCS, the other side is snacks, right? In addition to that, we have a canopy there, which wink, wink, will have something in the near future, right? So yeah, we think that if we can bring this to market now, it's worth to deploy the speed, right? And we think it's a pretty great experience. You have the 2 pull-in, again, 2x because of the both sides. So it's 10 bays, 400 kW, ability to pull through, more in the near future.
And I think in general, most people are pretty comfortable backing in or pulling into a site. And it's just when you're towing or have a bike rack that you really need a pull through, which is, the fewer number of cars than the more number of cars. So that this kind of works.
You got it. And what we've seen already, I mean, it's interesting, right? Like you have a plan, then you go into the marketplace and users find different ways to do things beyond what you imagine. We've seen people already show up with trailering something here. Yeah. And there was somebody with a massive trailer, and what they did is they used our ADA stalls. They effectively made that a pull-through, and it can be.
Yeah, when it's empty, you're blocking extra space, not ideal.
You got it. So you're blocking too, it's not ideal, but
it works.
Again, 400 kW chargers, if you match it to a good car, you're not gonna be here that long anyway.
All right, so let's talk power for this site. This was a site that you mentioned was a fueling station before. Yep. So they probably didn't need that much power. They needed some power. Pumps take some juice, but not megawatts of power. Just in general, how hard is it to get, you know, you're doing this across the entire country, building a network. How hard is it to get transformers and 480 volt three-phase secondary outputs to do your chargers everywhere?
It's hard. It's a numbers game, right? So to be able to hit the numbers that we're hitting, not only on speed, but you know, the national rollout, it just means you have to have a big funnel of sites, because some of them are going to hit the lottery in terms of speed and power availability. Some of them are going to be slower, right? So you just have more in the funnel. We have an amazing site acquisition team that builds that funnel and maintains it the right size. In this specific site, it's one of the ones that actually won the lottery from a speed and power availability perspective. So behind that fence, and I'm sorry, because we just built the fence like a couple of days ago. And, and it has a padlock on it. I have no idea where the key is.
But we can almost like peek the camera
you can peek through. So this one has 2,500 kVA transformer, right?
So you're set here.
He's a big boy. It's set. It's set for, again, wink, wink, maybe more in the future. Whether it's capability of those chargers or adding more, right? So this site can run at 100%, throw whatever is in the market at it, and it won't blink.
All right, so future Hummer EV owners meet up here, and Sierra EV owners meet up.
Everybody's welcome to the church of charging here.
What have you seen for utilization so far? This is a relatively brand new location.
Brand new.
People, are you finding that the enthusiasts know about it? They'll come here pretty quick. And then the general public filters in later, or what are you finding?
No, that's exactly what is happening, right? So we get the enthusiasts with it, which actually is great, because the enthusiasts normally also include people like you that will post about it. And that increases awareness, and that awareness then results in couple of months, then the throughput really starts to pick up, right? So it's a bit of a hockey stick, if you will. Listen, we also have our founding OEMs, and even with the non-founding OEMs, we're turning on in-vehicle head unit integration. So right now, when you don't have to type IONNA, you just type charging station, we pop up, we start to pop up, and EV routing. All of that is starting to accelerate that curve.
You're in a better route planner now. You've got all those types of things.
You got it. So we're happy with the throughput. Even though, of course, it has to be said, it is at its infancy and only opened a couple of weeks ago.
And I mean, I guess the biggest thing from IONNA side, you're here for throughput. You want to sell electricity. That is the goal. And it will also help, I imagine, reduce demand charges if you can keep the site ripping the whole time.
Absolutely,
Well, I guess the demand charge stays the same, but you can fill it up with, load.
What I took in terms of what you meant is you definitely want higher utilization to be able to pay for that demand charge, right? You do not want to be in that middle zone. You want to be at the right healthy utilization so that ultimately you can make the site pay for itself, even at the gross level.
So how did you find this particular location? Did you drive by one day and it was for sale, or what happened?
So interestingly enough, because we picked our headquarters here, that's actually what happened in this location, and quite frankly also Apex. That's not how we find locations nationwide, right? But that's actually how we found this location, yes.
That's pretty cool. And what are the plans in the future? I imagine this, with so much traffic and North Carolina really adopting EVs quickly, what are the expansion plans or ideas? What do you think you can do around here? Because we didn't even talk about this much, but there's this canopy over here. You've got, a bunch of extra space. It sounds like you've got the extra capacity. Is there a regulatory limit as to how many chargers you could fill up?
No, not here. I mean, again, that varies site by site, right? Ultimately, every site we do, we think of the future. This one is no different. So to your point, we started with 10 bays. We already have the power to actually do more bays without having to do anything with utility interconnect. But the limit of our imagination is how big and powerful we can make the site. So utilization will tell us when we need to come back. And that's ultimately, I think, also an important point, right? So we are on this march to open the road to EVs, and we're not doing this sequentially. If you kind of see our map, we're trying to do the whole nation effectively at once.
It's crazy, dude. I mean, we've really never seen, we've seen a lot of charging networks have to go fast, but we've never really seen a lot of charging networks go fast and provide the best experience.
We're trying. It keeps us busy.
It's
right?
pretty impressive.
But that means that the front line is never too far away, right?
Yeah.
So we do phase 1, we do phase 2, and that might mean that we come back to a market. And we were recently discussing, hey, when you mobilize and demobilize, you're going to mobilize somebody here doing another station not far away, and then we can come back and do another row of 10 chargers if that's what the customers really want in this location.
Amazing. So I told the viewers earlier they should comment what you should do with this. We can see what they say.
You know what? Yeah, we should make it like a survey. Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
we have some ideas.
Okay.
And we have some other stuff that you've seen at Apex.
Right.
That will be here in a couple of weeks.
Cool.
That windshield wiper fluid air station.
Yeah.
Again, I would call the site, as good as it looks, it's probably not 100% done.
Okay.
There's some finishing touches, some stuff that makes us really unique as well.
Yeah.
There's this really cool mural on Apex. There's going to be one here.
Nice.
There's the Polycade unit. There is, in addition to that, the windshield wiper fluid and air station. So it will progressively get better.
I mean, it's already pretty amazing. But yeah, well, I mean, everyone will want a little bit better. I want to take everyone inside as well, because I think this is kind of the magic of the Rechargeries. Apex has a similar situation, and this one. Are those the 2 locations right now?
No, we also have Reynoldsburg and, quite frankly, many more coming. These are not going to be 100% of the network, but it's not a low percentage either.
I'm sorry,
yeah. So the experience here, to your point, is
let's talk about this.
Yeah, you got it. So it's meant to be secure access, and the reason for that is this is a 24/7 experience, not just on the chargers, but in also what makes it a Rechargery in our product class. So a Rechargery, it's either going to be a Rechargery at where we partner with Sheets, and Sheets is 24/7. It's Hot Food is a great partner. We'll have more coming.
Yeah,
or
love Sheets.
There's places in the map as you open the road to EVs where either because of speed or because of what's already there, you just have to step up and do your stuff.
Absolutely.
Right? Which is what we're doing here. And this Rechargery has got a lounge, which you'll see in a minute.
Yeah.
A pretty cool market, which you'll see in a minute and 1 second after that. And bathrooms, and those are 24/7 as well, which then requires us to think about security, which is why you have secure access to the Rechargery through just using the QR code to give your information, open up the door. Again.
And let's talk about that. So when I pulled up here, I had the Model S, we scanned this code. It asked for, name and email, because you got to know who's in there. And then it popped up with this application here, guys, so you can see this. And this essentially allows me to unlock Restroom 1, Restroom 2, and then also the 2 entry doors. And we're currently on the NAC side, so I'm going to click this unlocking. I just heard the lock go, and then we're in. That's pretty cool.
It is.
And is there a way for it to remember like my device at other IONNA stations? Is that something that could come?
Yeah, including integration into, there's no reason why we couldn't open these APIs up and also do it in the OEM apps or OEM head unit, and more of that coming soon, right? Just a little bit of development
And you've got 7 partner automakers?
8.
8 partner automakers? Very cool. And so, hopefully you can like roll up in your i7 or whatever, or i5, hit that, you've got your BMW app, NFC card, or whatever you have to do, and you're in.
100%. That's the plan.
Let's show the viewers in here. This is super nice. So we've been to a lot of charging station lounges. We've been to, Porsche did a huge lounge concept in Germany. We've been to a bunch of those. We've been to like Kettleman City's Tesla lounge. There's very few lounges that have this much stuff. Seating area is really nice, power plugs, the ability to have like a little meeting here. You guys kind of took the best cherry pick of all those other lounges and put it in one.
Yeah, agreed. Customer feedback, also an amazing team, both from a design perspective, from the key things, the tips of the iceberg, and the customer experience that we wanted to put out there. We do clinics, and in the clinics, people tell us, yeah, sure, I want to sit down, but not only do I want to sit down, I actually want a lounge, and I want a table where I can work out of, and don't forget the outlets. Actually, the Wi-Fi here, shout out to Eero. There's, again, a lot more that we're going to be announcing soon. These are the Eero indoor and outdoor units.
And that's these right here?
Yep, absolutely. So 2 indoor, there's 3 outdoor. Partnering with them to make this an even better experience also from a content perspective. So I won't spoil the surprise, but just imagine the things that you can consume beyond just connecting to the internet that we want to give you as part of your experience. Physically, we're going to have some books, some board games here. And then, of course, What you're probably wondering is, what is that? What is a Rechargery market? That's also a marquee thing.
That's the coolest thing. And I think we should show everyone the palm access, but I also just want to commend you, just like having, you know, just utensils and napkins and a water fill station and restrooms. I mean, I don't think anyone's here. Let's just show them the restroom.
Same system you were using before.
Yep. So I've got the same app loaded up. And if you guys come on over this way, I can click restroom 2. So I'll click unlock, boom, there we go, push to open. And it's just like a nice, clean restroom. What a concept. So many charging stations. I mean, we road trip a lot. You go to and like, it's like, oh man, that's nasty. This is clean, it's nice. How often do they come and clean up the place?
It's actually on demand, right? So effectively, because we have the access system, we know how much use is getting. And sometimes if, let's say, nobody used it, that's yet to happen, but let's imagine for a minute, well, there's no need for the crew to, you know, come out here.
Sure.
But based on the usage, they'll come out once, twice, et cetera, a day. And that's true not only for the bathrooms, but the overall lounge as well.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, nice facility, trash cans everywhere. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of everything you want, but this is really the cool part. So at Apex, you have a partner business, local business, who's staffed with coffee and baked goods. That's awesome for high throughput sites, but also you kind of want as much flexibility as possible. It is nice to have someone on hand, by the way. I met her when I was there a few weeks ago, and she helps people and talks to people.
And Helika from Zulia Bakery,
Yeah, she's awesome. And but this is a totally different experience. So are you going to go in the future at more sites more with this approach, or more with local business, or both, or what are you thinking?
So everything at IONNA is sort of like test things, you know, the whole concept of fail fast, listen to customers. We're trying both business models. Since we're here now, I'll highlight some of the reasons why we wanted to try that here.
Yeah.
This is also the 24/7 experience, right? So whether you showed up here at 2 p.m., at lunchtime, at 2 a.m., we have a secure building with a secure market where if you want to grab a snack, you want to grab a water, you want to microwavable food, like it's there, and it's there 24/7. To me, the biggest enabler of this type of technology is that it can be 24/7, and it keeps up with, you know, the average driver that might need it whenever they need it. Right?
Yeah, I mean, people aren't just road tripping during the day.
Exactly.
And I know a lot of our viewers, there's a small subset like me who are hardcore road trippers who will just go until you get there.
And you've been caught in the situation where
so many times.
Sometimes in gas stations that you stop by and listen, okay, the gas is 24/7, but the station closed at 10.
Totally,
right?
yeah.
That wouldn't happen here.
Yeah, so this is an Amazon. Did they do all of this, or did you do this and invite them to come, or how did that relationship work?
All of the above, right? There is a relationship. We work together. This is technology that's been deployed in different use cases. This is not a completely different use case, but for example, normally when you see these at the airport, it's a secure location. It just has a turnstile. So we collaborated on this different access. In fact, it does include Amazon One technology, not just walk out technology. And the way that works is to come in, you can swipe your card, and that's it. You're going to come in.
Yep.
And/or, really cool, you use your palm, and then in a matter of seconds, you tell us, I know who you are, and we come in.
So it's just it's like a palm reader, but you don't have to touch anything, which is nice.
You don't have to. And listen, for people that don't want that, then we have the credit card terminal right next to it.
Yeah, you just tap Apple Pay or whatever to get in.
And again, this is the base foundation for something that we can then integrate into the overall EV driving experience, right? This is sort of like step one. We have a good foundation.
Yeah.
Another cool thing is, because again, we're testing, we're getting feedback from customers, we're getting questions. One of the most frequently asked questions are, if we're in here, does somebody have to wait for us to come out? The answer is no. Like, one of the cool things about this tech and why we chose it is that you could have an unlimited amount of people in here. What it does is the cameras sort of like work on this sort of social principle that if we open the door and we come in together.
As a group.
Exactly. It assumes that we're road tripping together, we're a group, whether we're in different cars or the same car. Like, we came in, and because I authenticated with my hand, which could have been a card, that means it's like, it's on me, right? If we wanted to come in separately, we can both be here at the same time. We just make that 2 opening and closings of the door.
So it's like when you check out the grocery store and you got the little things separating your stuff from the person behind.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
The door does that.
Exactly.
So when you cycle the door, that starts a new transaction.
That's a group, and that could be as little as 1 person or a whole bus worth of people.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you'd squeeze that many people in here, but you could get like 30 people.
Tight.
Yeah.
It'd be tight, and you probably challenge the system and AI. But that's exactly why we built this one, because we want to test the limit.
So we've got cameras everywhere in here, and the way you described this to me is they're not like, this isn't like security video feed. This is like viewing us as little stick figures.
You're a stick figure. Yeah. You're a stick figure, and you came in, and then there's everything that we put here is intentionally in its own place. And it's a combo of sensors and vision. Yeah. Which is one of the cool things about this location. It is primarily vision, easier to deploy, right? Yeah. Which is why we're testing it as well. And yeah, right now, if you were able to see what the matrix sees, right, what the computer sees, we're just stick figures that are going to, for example, grab, I don't know, what do you feel like eating?
Whoa, yeah, I don't know. Let's get some Dots pretzels. Can't go wrong with those.
Go for it.
There we go.
Yeah, so it knows you grabbed it. It would know if you put it back in. It would know if you put it in a bag. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to put like a little bag station over there.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, to your heart's desire, you can just grab whatever you want. And the reason we did it here as well is we feel, I mean, you traveled before through air as well. And you know that like Delta Lounge or Airport Lounge experience, which one of the cool things is you're sitting around and there's normally complimentary water, food, coffee. And you, when there's less friction for that transaction, you're sitting down, you want a coffee, you just get up and grab it, right? It's a little bit of the idea that we were going after, and hence why, sure, there's a secure door in between. You saw how easy it is to come in. If you have kids, you open it up, they can grab whatever they want, they can get out. You're sitting down, you want to get up again, there's really a minimal hold, it's only $10 and it clears immediately. So that's why we were going after this low friction experience.
I really like it. And the stuff that you have in here is kind of what you would want while road tripping. You've got all of your drinks, waters, Red Bull, Starbucks stuff. Yep. You've got snacks over here. You've got your extended range battery packs if you need a power boost, just a little extra miles of range out of your Sierra. You got everything you need. Excedrin for me is a big one. I get migraines, so I always, can pop in.
We have that too. We thought of you.
Love it. Yep. So it's, it's just a really nice spot. And I guess, Amazon, this is their offering more or less, but are you guys picking what's on display here? Is it them? How does that work?
Yeah, it's effectively us, right? So we clinicked a number of people and said, what would you want when you're road tripping? Again, we think of this as a hybrid, so it has a bit of MSA. So you'll see things like, ice cream, et cetera. They're sort of like the top things that people grab and when they're on their way back home. And then, of course, a lot of things when you're road tripping. And based on that feedback, we built what in the industry they call the planogram, which is more or less just what are you going to put on the shelves. And then that's it. That's that.
That's really cool. And then I imagine when we leave, we got some pretzels.
You got it.
Okay. Very cool. And how do you find out what it bills you?
So
later on, I guess?
Yep. So there's a couple of journeys for the receipt process, right? In my case, since I'm already registered and it knows who I am, I'm going to get a receipt, and you can actually go see it, through email, but also you could see it in your Amazon type apps, right? It's like, hey, you just bought this. Cool. In addition to that, we have a QR code where if you just use your credit card, you're not going to be here often because let's say that this is one stop in one road trip. Sure. Then through the QR code, it will take you to our website where ultimately you can get the receipt later.
So are there other rechargeries with this type of market coming?
There are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Soon-ish?
Soon this year.
Oh, okay, cool. Let's run back outside because I have just some general network questions for you. In general, everything we've experienced during our road tripping, again, I'll just keep this right there, has been very much focused on the little things that EV drivers appreciate. Trash cans, as an EV driver, really makes a difference. And windshield washing. This is such a rare commodity at charging stations. Is this something you'll have at most sites?
We effectively will put it at every site. So charging done right. So remember, if we talked about our 3 product lines, right? So the Rechargery relays, they are going to have trash cans, they're going to have the squeegees, they're going to have other features that ultimately, to your point, customers have told us are missing. We're customers too, right? Like we all drive, we experience this.
Everyone on your team drives electric that I know of.
100%, right? Yeah. So we've all road trip and you get to that station that, listen, it's convenient, it's there, it's charging, but it doesn't even have a trash can. We think that's unacceptable. Yeah. Listen, the reason for that is, it's not just the putting of the trash can, right? But then you have to figure out, well, the trash can needs to be empty. Absolutely. Do you have a dumpster inside? If you don't have a dumpster inside, how nationwide can you create the system for then ultimately emptying the trash cans, right? That's what makes it tougher. Yeah. But hey, somebody had to do it. We're stepping in.
I mean, it's pretty impressive, actually. On the topic of the chargers, my understanding is you've launched with the Alpi Hypercharger 400s. That's at all the sites right now. But I also think you're hardware agnostic in the future. Can you talk a little bit more about what we might see? What can you say? What can't you say? You can tell us what you can't say as well. It's a safe space.
I think you probably said everything I would like to say for this video, just so we see each other again. Hardware agnostic. Right? Yeah. It's all about the experience, and whether it's the partners, the technology, it's all the means to an end. We deliver the experience. Today, that's with the partner and hardware you mentioned. Tomorrow might be a different one. Tomorrow, the day after tomorrow might be a different hardware offering from that partner, right? Sure. Whatever it takes to deliver the experience.
Yeah, and I guess on that topic, right now, everything has been dedicated power at the individual station. We haven't seen any site designs or anything. Of course, there's some really cool people online that are like stealing your site plans and stuff and finding those.
We see them. We've noticed.
Yeah. How are you going to hide those? I mean, it's kind of a fun game.
We don't have to hide them, right? I mean, we're pretty much an open book. At the end of the day, if what we're doing results in either people finding out about it and being fans, and or somebody copying it and taking this formula and making it more of what you see in the open road, that's what we call the IONNA ripple effect, right?
I like it.
At the end of the day, we have some very aggressive targets, right? 30,000 charging bays by the end of 2030. Yeah. It will take more than that to serve the whole country, right? Absolutely. So we need more people to join the bandwagon.
On that final topic, split systems are something that you're evaluating, that topic, because the one thing I noticed when we were out in Kansas was we had some site level limitations in terms of grid connections. And I think it would almost be a better use of a spend to not have so much conversion power on site if you can't use it all. So are split systems maybe something that you'll think about?
We're trying everything. So you're going to go to our lab later. That will be where we test absolutely everything in the marketplace. Specifically that, yes, it's in our potential roadmap. Again, we like to talk about stuff when we're about to put it out there. Yeah. And we like to make noise if it really impacts the customer experience. Sure. From a power perspective, I mean, this site is not really missing anything, right? So it has 2,500 kVA transformer. Yeah. It has these 400 kW capable with all the stacks. Sure, they're here, but it's like this site has more power than any EV can ever ask of it. Absolutely. If all 10 are plugged in at the same time.
Yeah, you got plenty of juice to go here.
We could have 10, Hummer EVs, Lucid Gravity, anything in the marketplace, and the site can give more than that, right?
Absolutely amazing. In terms of just, I guess we'll walk back around to your truck. Sure. Overall, this site design is really cool. The Rechargeries versus Rechargery relays. Yep. What's going to be the mix between, because I think this is the experience that, when you launched to the world, we saw Apex and everyone was questioning, okay, is it all going to be Apex? And now you've one-upped that with this particular location. But then we've also visited some of the base level sites, which are still amazing. How many of these are we going to see versus the relay sites? Is it 10 to 1? Is it 20 to 1? What do you think?
Yeah, don't hold me to a ratio, but I'll tell you this, right? So there's relays, and then there's Rechargery and Rechargery at. Rechargery at has this X factor of a partnership, right? And again, one public partnership we've talked about in the past is Sheets, right? When you take Rechargery and Rechargery at and the power of that partnership, which turns into a less complex build, but it has that standard that goes beyond doing charging right and having the canopy, and which is something we haven't talked about that's also hard to do but worth it.
Every site I've been to, except for one of the Sheet sites, is canopied.
Agreed. So
it's amazing.
Exactly. So this should be our bread and butter, is what we're shooting for. Yeah. And then you have effectively two bookends, right? You have the relays. There's gonna be plenty of places, either because of speed or because it's you're connecting two MSAs where what is actually right is a relay, where we'll do that. And then in addition to that, the beacons, which more on that in the future, that will bookend sort of like the center of what we're trying to do with the Rechargers and Rechargery ads.
It's pretty incredible the speed that you guys are going as well. Maybe, just to give a little bit of context, as to, your team. Of course, we've highlighted you, we've highlighted Seth, but you have a team of people that are in the permitting process. We haven't even mentioned them yet, but also on the back end, like if you have an issue while charging, you can call someone. Yeah. And you actually reach an IONNA employee, which is really cool. Yeah. Maybe you can just give a little bit of a quick overview, and we're going to get into this in a future video, but of who's involved and what the teams are doing.
Yeah, it takes a village, right? We're a full company, so there's a tech team, there's a product team, there's a support team, there's a deployment team, there's a site acquisition team, and the list goes on, right? And yeah, they're working at different stages to ultimately go deliver the, it doesn't end when you actually build a Rechargery, to your point, right? One of the hardest things is to actually then meet the customer where they're at every single day, right? Totally. It's come back here and make sure there's no cobwebs. It's make sure that the lights are working. It's, you know, somebody dropped a cable and the handle broke, right? There's a whole team whose one job is to make sure that this experience isn't a one and done, and that we keep that standard, that level of excellence for as long as this Rechargery is operating.
Well, I can't thank you enough for joining for this video.
Thank you for coming.
Super fun. This site's amazing. I encourage anyone who's coming, even just to the general North Carolina area, like make a trip here. This place is worth seeing. Other CPOs, hope they kind of catch on and see what y'all are doing, because you're totally taking the like general public charging experience and just bringing it up, not just one notch, but like 30 notches. It's incredible.
That's the intent. It was overdue for this region. We're here to make it happen.
Love it. I appreciate it. I know the viewers do too. I saw some of their comments on the video we shot going through Kansas, and everyone's like, more pull-throughs? Well, here you go. We got pull-throughs.
And more coming.
More coming. Love to hear it. Well, thanks again, Ricardo. Thanks to you guys for watching this video. We've got more to come with Ayana, and we'll see you on another one again soon. Bye-bye.
See y'all. Bye.